We
Yeah.
One,
No,
one more thing is that are we going to give a 10 minutes break for prayer break? Because at 6:30 there will be a prayer.
it's fine, doctor. We can do that, I think.
Huh? Okay. So
So,
let me.
doctor,
Yeah.
mhm. Now there are participants joining. We have sub attendance in counting,
Mhm.
and we need to wait for some minutes for everyone to join
Okay.
the
Okay.
session.
That's fine.
Then I will cue you if we will start the presentation, doctor.
Okay. So once you give me the signal, then I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay.
Yes, doctor. Thank
Okay.
you. Hi, good evening, Dr. Fausia. You can share your screen now and we can start the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen, Patrick, and
Yes,
everybody?
doctor.
Okay.
Yes, doctor, we can see the screen.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. How are you all doing today? Everything is good? Well, this session is a very interactive session. So I want your participation through chat, question and answers and everything. I know many of you are working professionals, eager to know about what is strategy, how to make our company much better during COVID-19 or after COVID-19, how to do more, means what shall we do in terms of formulating the strategy that will make our businesses grow further. If you're working professionals, definitely these are some of the nightmares that comes in your mind every time, that how our businesses are going to grow, how we should formulate the strategy that our organizations will become more successful. So I want more enthusiasm and participation in this interactive workshop. Are you ready? Okay, so welcome to this workshop. This is a practical roadmap to business strategy, very interactive, hands-on experience that I will be sharing it with you. My name is Professor Fawzia Jabin. I'm the Professor of Management and Head of Engagement and Corporate Relations in the College of Business at Abu Dhabi University. Before I introduce myself in a more detailed manner, I would like to tell about Abu Dhabi University in brief, and then I shall take you to the journey, fascinating journey of strategy formulation. Okay? Well, so Abu Dhabi University is based in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. with additional campuses in Al Ain, Dubai, and Al Dhafra. The College of Business at Abu Dhabi University, ADU, provides premier business and management education and is the globally connected school in the region that focuses on leading research to promote sustainable business practices. We have several international accreditations. As you can see, our College of Business is both ACWIS and ACSB accredited. There are only 128 business schools in the whole world that have both ACSB and ACWIS accreditation. From among 14,000 plus business schools, College of Business at Abu Dhabi University is among the 1% of all business schools in the world with double accreditation from ACSB and ACWIS. So in terms of what courses, what programs do we offer at, especially in the College of Business at Abu Dhabi University? The College of Business offers a wide range of contemporary and pertinent undergraduate and postgraduate programs to build and enhance business management and leadership careers. You can see here, these are our postgraduate programs. These are our undergraduate programs, and we have a number of specializations that we offer at the undergraduate and master's level. We also have Doctor in Business Administration, which is our flagship course, or you can say flagship program, and where we develop the research skills of the business professionals. In terms of international partnerships with the international institutions, we have several study abroad and student exchange programs. We offer a collaborative and experiential learning environment enhanced by our partnerships with international institutions and corporations across the globe. Well, in terms of employment opportunities, approximately 91% of our students are employed within 1 year of graduation and they are working at leading public and private sector firms, which are mentioned here. So that was about College of Business and Abu Dhabi University. Now I would like to tell something about myself. Okay, give me a minute. So my name is Fawzia Jabin, and I'm the Professor of Management and Head of Engagement and Corporate Relations in the College of Business at Abu Dhabi University. I'm also the chapter advisor of Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society at Abu Dhabi University, and currently I'm also working as a visiting professor at Burgundy School of Business, Dijon, France. I have worked in the higher education for 18 years in the UAE and other national context. Before joining academia, I started my career in the banking industry as a financial consultant. My teaching assignments are extensive and include organizational behavior, international management, social responsibility, sustainability, gender studies, and strategy at the undergraduate, master's, and doctoral levels. Additionally, I'm passionate about conducting and publishing research in organizational behavior and development, strategy and sustainability. My research works are published in high impact factor international refereed journals. I have also received scholarly awards and research grants from various UAE and global funding agencies such as Al Hosn Gas and Fulbright Scholarship, United States. So this was all about myself. Now let's start with the interesting journey of strategy for what we are gathered here. Okay, so let me just tell you, but before we proceed, let me just tell you what we are going to do in this workshop. So basically in this workshop, I shall take you to the interesting journey of concepts that underlie the choice and implementation of a strategy helpful in gaining competitive advantage. Okay, so let's have some interaction. Tell me, how many of you play chess? How many of you play chess? You can type your answers in the chat. Okay, let me see. Okay, very good. There are many chess enthusiasts. Okay. Yes, very good. I can see that Tanzil is chess enthusiast. I can see Marco is a chess enthusiast. Many of us, right? Okay. In simple terms, strategy is the game of chess. Okay. It is all about positioning your own pieces to gain advantage. The most useful positioning depends on the current positioning of your own pieces. So just recall the chess game, the chess board. So the most useful positioning, what you do on the current positioning of your own pieces, the current positioning of your opponent's pieces, okay? The expected future positioning of your opponent's pieces and the desired future positioning of your own pieces, okay? So hence one needs to understand the effects of current positioning and have an idea of what positioning the opponent is likely to adapt in the future. So what you do in chess, similarly, you have to formulate the strategy, keeping in mind the moves of your competitors, what they are currently doing, what you are currently doing, what you will do in future, and you need to also sense what your competitors are going to do in future, right? So do you agree that managing a firm or managing a business or managing an organization, of irrespective of whatever the size of that organization is, it is somewhat like playing a chess? Let me see the chat. Okay. Yes. Tanzil has said, we may sometimes take risk to get win, to make our strategy powerful. Very good. As you said, that we have to, sometimes we have to take risk. So that means you need to formulate certain directions. You need to formulate strategy, where to take risk, how much to take risk, when to take risk. These are all the parts of strategy formulation. So we are going to talk, although the time is very short, strategy is a very broad domain where you can talk about the various aspects of strategy. I will be just telling you about why strategy is important, what are the components of strategy that you as a business professional should keep in mind, okay? Irrespective of whatever the industry you are working in, strategy is going to be implemented. Means it's very important. It is imperative that you formulate the strategy for the business success. Okay, so let's talk about. As I told you, that the managing a business is somewhat like playing a chess game. The resources of the firm are like the pieces of a chess set. Okay. So whatever the resources you have it in the business organization, all are considered as the pieces of the chess set. So you need to understand about how to position the resources of the firm with a view toward gaining competitive advantage and earning higher profits. Okay, are you enjoying the lecture? Is it creating an interest, inquisitiveness to know more about it? Okay. In the online workshop, and online lectures, interest of the audience is the foremost important thing. Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much for your motivating words. So I shall give you a real example of how a change in strategy can bring about tremendous change in the economic performance of a company. Okay, how many of you have visited Disney World, or how many of you have heard about Disney World? Disney theme parks, Disneyland. Anybody? Okay, very good. I can see somebody has said yes. Very good. Okay. Very nice, Marco. I hope you have enjoyed your visit. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the fascinating success journey of a company, which is Disney. So here, let's take the example of Disney, how the ex-CEOs, I will be giving you two examples here, or the successful strategy implementation of two CEOs of Disney, Michael Eisner and Bob Iger, who reinvented the Disney empire. Okay, so you have to understand that means because of this, why strategy is important for any organization. So I will be just giving you a small example about how this organization has achieved an enormous success. So if you will, now let's talk about the slide that I have mentioned here. As you all know that about Walt Disney Company, in 1984, Disney's stock price had been flat for a decade. Means it was not growing further. Earning per share was only $0.06. Disney had profits of approximately 243 million US dollars in 1984. So by this point in time, Disney had become primarily a theme park company. And that's why I just asked who have visited Disney theme park. 77% of the profit came from theme park operations, 22% of the profit came from consumer products, okay? And from the film entertainment, only 1% of the profit came from the film entertainment category, okay, in 1984. So now, so the Disney board was very much dissatisfied with the firm's direction and its financial performance. Michael Eisner was hired as the CEO in 1984, and he had extensive he had an extensive experience in the entertainment industry, including a stint as the president of Paramount Pictures. So I just give you a brief information about who was Michael Eisner. Okay, so he was hired by Disney Company. Now let's see what he did. Okay, Eisner recognized the value of both the filmed entertainment legacy of the firm and the theme park operations that had been developed by that time. Eisner focused on the animation and movie studios. He also opened the Disney Vault to exploit the relatively untapped value of Disney's animated classics. He decided to upgrade the theme parks and increase the admission prices at theme park. Key changes that he made in theme parks and film entertainment were changes in the use of existing company assets. Most of what he did was a matter of using firm resources in new and different manner. Eisner also diversified the firm portfolio extensively. So taken together, these strategic changes led to phenomenal growth in the market capitalization of Walt Disney. Okay, so what he did, if you will look here in the slide, he increased the admission prices. Okay, so now it's also I'm not going to tell you that it's a strategy. I will be asking you a question and then we will discuss about it. So he increased the admission prices at theme parks. He focused on movie studios in terms of character development, and he also diversified into television, hotels, retail stores, sports teams, cruise line, publishing, and various other businesses. So it means Disney diversified not only earlier Disney was only known for the theme parks. Okay, so he diversified into in multiple categories of business. So in 1984, the market cap of Walt Disney was $2 billion US. And by doing all these things in 1994, so after a decade, the market cap of Disney was 28 billion US. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief, is it a brief, but well detailed information about how Walt Disney Company became successful. So now, in another example, okay, because I told you that I will be talking about about two CEOs, one Michael Eisner and another Bob Iger, who both are considered as the successful CEOs in Walt Disney. So, in another example, what happened that in search for some breakthrough ideas, when Bob Iger, another former CEO, he purchased Pixar for 7.4 billion US, 10 years ago. Some in the industry. So when he bought Pixar, many of the people, industry experts, critics, they said that his decision of buying Pixar, which was not doing very well at that time, means his decision is irrational, means maybe the company is going to suffer a big loss after buying Pixar. It's a bad deal. A few years later, Iger made another successful deal to buy Marvel Entertainment and Lucasfilm in 2012. So basically, and he also played the pivotal role in Disney's international growth. So in 2006, again, look at the market cap. The Disney's market cap in 2006 was 57.68 billion US, and in 2020, it rose to 202.82 billion US. Now, my question to you is, I gave you 3 specific steps what Michael Eisner took. I also talked about what Bob Iger did during his tenure as a CEO, okay, the specific activities. Now, what do you think out of all these steps taken by Disney company or Disney CEOs, which one you will consider it as a strategy? Take 1 minute of your time, think. So look at this, and then I will also take you back to the slide. So now, what do you think? Out of all these steps taken by Disney company, which one you will consider it as a strategy? Any answer? Okay. Number 3, so you mean to say diversified? Okay. Tanzil said, Marco said, number 3 is, or you can say Michael Eisner, who just diversified into television, ABC, hotels, etc. That's a strategy. Tanzilur Rahman said, number 2, that means he focused on movie studios, that is character development is a strategy. Anybody else? How many of you believe that increased admission prices at theme parks is also a strategy? Anybody? Okay, Marco said it's a strategy, but not good for the consumer. Tanzil said it's a startup. Okay, well, so that means my question was that are these the part of strategy? Okay, so means do you consider it as a strategy? Now, whether you say or whether you look at Michael Eisner, number 1, 2, 3 steps or the things that he did, or if you look at Bob Iger's strategic decisions where he acquired, he bought the other companies, he expanded, he internationalized Disney into more than 12 destinations. Okay, these are all part of strategy. These are all strategy. Okay, I will just take 2 minutes of Adan. This thing, let Adan finish, then I will talk. Okay, welcome back. Patrick, please ask the audience, do they need a prayer break? And then we can start after 5 minutes, after Maghrib.
Sure, doctor. I will send it on the chat. Hi, doctor. Someone says it's okay. We can continue.
We can continue. Okay. Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I will be answering all your questions time to time. So let me just first focus on the essence of the concept, or you can say the workshop, why strategy is important, what is the need of strategy, and how the strategy can give benefit to the organization. Okay, and then we shall talk about the various other topics or the companies, etc. Okay, so I was talking about, so as I asked you the question that what is strategy, and I gave you Michael Eisner's three activities that he did, and Bob Iger's two activities that made Disney more successful. These are all the part of strategy. Okay, so whether you say Bob Iger, whether you say Michael Eisner, anything what an organization does to make the business profitable, allocating the resources, rearranging the resources, etc., that is all the part of strategy. So Eisner's theory seems to have been that people would be willing to pay a premium price for extraordinary entertainment. He recognized that Disney had the necessary resources to create extraordinary entertainment. So this is also a strategy. Now I would like to give you one more example about how many of you know Fly Dubai or Air Arabia? The budget airlines in this region, or you can say from United Arab Emirates. Okay, if you don't know, no problem. You know Southwest Airlines. If you are attending the workshop from other parts of the world, no problem. I'm going to tell you about the success story of Southwest Airlines. So just keep in mind, Disney CEO increased the price of the theme park admission, or you can say admission price of theme park. Whereas I'm going to tell you about the strategy of the founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines, Herb Keller. He seems to have had a different theory about how to gain competitive advantage. So his theory was that people would be willing to pay or willing to fly instead of driving, taking a bus, or taking a train if the price could be made affordable. So here he thought about being cheaper. So he also theorized that a certain part of the market would prefer to pay a lower price and fly without some of the usual perks of air travel, like meals and reserved seats. So look at two company examples. Disney, they increased the admission prices, okay, to make the extraordinary experience in entertainment, okay, whereas the aviation company Southwest Airlines, they dropped, or you can say they came up with the idea of cheaper or budget airlines, okay, where, or you can say affordable airlines. So every business has its own agenda, has its how you are going to gain competitive advantage. You as a business professional need to decide. You as a person need to decide what resources and capabilities you have, whether you want to be known for a cost leader or as a cost leader, or you want to be known as a means you want to gain a competitive advantage on product differentiation. Okay, so both of these theories and many others can lead to competitive advantage depending on circumstances, strategic insight, and strategic implementation. So Disney CEOs Eisner and Bob Iger, they went through a good planning and process. It may not have been exactly this process. The point is that Eisner did not instantly decide to upgrade the theme parks. It was not 1 minute decision. He went through a process of analysis before he came to the conclusion that updating the theme parks and increasing the admission price would likely lead to higher profits. So you as a business professional, you have to keep in mind that this strategy is a continuous process, okay? So let me just take you here. So what is a strategy? A firm strategy is defined as its theory about how to gain competitive advantage. Earlier, people were just talking about how to gain competitive advantage. Now, in a business school, we talk more about how to gain sustained competitive advantage. Okay, so if you want to know more about the temporary competitive advantage and sustained competitive advantage, then please Google by yourself, or if you're interested in knowing more, please drop me a message later on after the workshop, and maybe I can explain it to you later. Okay, so now the question here is that how to formulate a good strategy. What do you think? How the organization should formulate a good strategy? Any idea? Anything that you want to say here? How do you formulate a good strategy? What are the key components of a strategy? What does a good strategy look like? Let me see, somebody has, okay, yes. Unique, very good. Very good. Unique, what else? No one can judge, or no one does. Okay. Yes, creative, very good, excellent, well planned. Okay. So it's hard to accomplish anything without a plan. Okay. As you said, well planned. So without a plan, or without a well planned directions, you cannot accomplish anything. There are various design elements that can be considered when constructing an organizational strategy, whether in the private organization, public organization, or non-profit organization. So from an excellence perspective, a good plan with concise objectives and actions can help to ensure that improvement initiatives are properly aligned to the goals, adding value in key priority areas, and contributing to the essential long-term outcomes. Understand this, as I told you, that strategy is not one day show, or you can say, like take the example, you might have heard about the rise and fall of Nokia. You have heard about the rise and fall of Xerox. Now they have gained a momentum of again coming back into business. So you need to understand that strategy is not only that you just made the product, you run it for certain specific period of time, and you thought that you will be number one every time. No, your competitors are going to think ahead of you, so you have to think ahead of them. Okay, so in terms of strategic planning, what does a good strategy look like? So these are some of the key enablers to be taken into consideration when developing a strategic plan. Now, what are these enablers? Number one is critical reflection. Now, what do you mean by critical reflection? Any idea? Any idea about? Very good, Tanzeen. Yes, to be focused and smart. Yes, I like the enthusiasm. I like the interest. Don't worry, there are some interesting videos also in this workshop. I'm going to show it to you. without telling you about the strategy and the good strategy, if I'm going to show you the video, you will not think about for what this video is. So once you know about that, okay, what does a good strategy look like? I'm going to show you the video and I will say, okay, now find out what this company has done and what are the good strategy components you can identify in this video. Okay. So, okay, critical reflection, learning from mistakes, very good, yes, okay. So sometimes before you go forward, you have to look back and think, where have you been? Where are you now? And where are you heading? This includes an honest assessment of problem areas and changes taking place, which need to be addressed both internally and externally. Okay. Enabler number 2 is clear vision, mission, and objectives. Focus on where you want to take your organization over time. This sets the direction of the enterprise over the long term and clearly defines the mission. Mission towards the market, mission towards your customers, mission towards your products. And the vision, that means conceptualization of what your organization's future should or could be. So you need to formulate the clear vision, mission, and objectives. Okay. Enabler number 3 is balanced stakeholder listening. What does it mean, balanced stakeholder listening? Any idea? How many of you are working? Let's talk more about yourself as well. How many of you are working, wherever you are? Okay. Your attitude strategy, okay. Okay, okay, good, Marco. Okay, very nice. Okay, so my question to you is, if you're working, how many or does your organization engage your stakeholders, communicate with your stakeholders? How do you communicate with your customers? Do you have a proper communication plan? How do you reach to your customers? How do you reach to your other stakeholders and listen to them? So balanced stakeholder listening. Okay, it could be very smartly. Okay, yes. So basically, when you say balanced stakeholder listening means a good strategy reflects the voices of all the key stakeholders of an organization, especially the employees. So I'm not talking only about the outsiders, I'm talking about internal stakeholders as well. So the employees, customers, and suppliers who often get forgotten. People don't care about them. So there is a famous quote that says, the greatest tool you have is to listen. Yet many strategies are developed in a relative vacuum. The top management come up with some fancy strategies, okay? And so hence to formulate a good strategy, it is imperative to listen to your internal and external stakeholders. Okay. Also, a prioritization tool can be used to assess how much priority specific stakeholders need to be given. Now, how to prioritize that? There is a research tool which we teach in our research courses. One is analytic hierarchy process. I'm not going to tell you in detail about that. If you want to know, you can go through some of the researches published by our faculty members on analytic hierarchy process, where on various business issues, how do you prioritize out of 10 problems or 10 issues, or there are different stakeholders and their demands are different. How do you prioritize that? There is a specific research approach there. So now, so this was about balanced stakeholder listening. There are some other points that I would like to add here about when you are formulating the strategy, also ensure to embed coherent alignment in your strategy, as well as also try to embed sustainability in your strategy. Now, what do you mean by coherent alignment? The strategy should align and bind the whole organization together. So while each function or department will have to develop their own specific plans, there should or these should receive inspiration, purpose, and direction from the main strategy. So for example, take the example of audience segmentation strategy done in case of or done by marketing, smart technology adoption strategy, either in a specific organizational function or overall corporate level. So that means you need to align with the specific to develop your specific plans. You need to also align with each function or specific department as well. Okay. Another part is in your strategy, you need to embed the sustainability. Now, what do you mean by embedding sustainability, which is one of the core areas of any organizational mission nowadays? You need to understand that the good strategy should embrace all three pillars of the triple bottom line. What is sustainability? What is sustainability? Any idea? How many of you know what is sustainability? Anybody? What do you mean by sustainability? If I say sustainability or embed sustainability, any guesses? Okay, so sustainability, or you can say that is basically the literal meaning of sustain. That means long term. But in conceptual terms, sustainability means thinking about or around the triple bottom line. Now, what is triple bottom line? That means you have to think about people. That means social responsibility or social sustainability. You need to think about planet. That means environmental sustainability. And you need to also think about economic sustainability. That means your survival. That means economic performance of the organization. So when you say sustainability, sustainability revolves around these three concepts or three triple bottom line, which is social, okay, or you can say people, profit, and planet. Okay, so now I'm not sure whether you are joining from the UAE or GCC or from other parts of the world, but I'm going to give you some of the examples which are local and global examples as well as global. So, for example, IKEA has embedded sustainability in their strategy. Starbucks, Google, Deloitte, 3M, these are some of the international examples. Whereas when you take the example of the local UAE examples, Dolphin Energy or Emirates Nuclear Energy Corporation, Buruj, Abu Dhabi Ports, these are some of the organizations which have embedded sustainability in their strategy. Okay, so what they have done, or what these organizations have done, they have formulated operational, economic, social, safety, and environmental performance and achievements. Many of the organizations, like for example, Dolphin, the commitment to sustainability is focusing on the key sustainability challenges we face in the current time. And they are also following the Global Reporting Initiative, which is GRI standard. So this is just a quick idea about that. If you're formulating strategy, don't forget about embedding the sustainability in your strategy. There's a good strategy should have a component of sustainability. Okay, now we shall talk about enabler 4, which is actionable and flexible. So this is how you are going to get where you want to go. In other words, whatever you did here are number 1, 2, and 3. These are all basically on papers. Okay, so making castles, okay, in the air. So what? So all the things are on papers. Now, if you want, there are many strategies, innovative things people come up with, but it is not actionable. It is not realistic. You cannot implement it. So what you need to do is the strategic plan should be detailed enough to either specifically outline actions required to meet the goals or be able to lead directly to such actions. Okay, this will guide how you will allocate time, your human capital, and money to address the priority issues and achieve the defined objectives. Okay, it is perfectly okay to adjust the strategy in between based on changes in internal or the external environment. I will give you the example of COVID-19 pandemic. The organizations which were not flexible enough, okay, they are out of the business. So you need to, that's why I said it is perfectly okay to adjust the strategy in between. Okay, don't be so rigid. Be be a learning organization to adapt as per the recent volatile environment. Okay, but make sure that whatever you do, it should be in support of the overall vision and purpose and are agreed by the stakeholders. Okay, so the next, or you can say the last enabler is strong governance and discipline. There are some basic questions when designing a proper governance process. What are these questions? Who will review the strategy? How frequently and by which means? Do you have any measuring index? Do you have certain measurement tools? Who shall own it? Who shall review it? And who shall take the charge of planning and managing? In an organization, there are two dynamics going on in parallel. Running the organization and improving the organization. Most of the firms make the common mistake of combining these two dynamics. You merge it. It is a parallel theme, running the existing organization and improvement. And as I said, that most of the firms make the common mistake of combining these two dynamics, although they are related, but each needs its own time slot, or the operational issues could easily choke the strategic reviews. Okay. And the third one, once you say who will review the strategy, who shall own it, there is another step in strong governance and discipline is to review and update. To ensure the plan performs as designed, you must hold regularly scheduled formal reviews of the process and refinement as necessary. Okay, and that's why I told you it's a continuous process. Okay. And now you might be thinking, what should be the time limit or timeline of review and update? I suggest at least once a quarter is important. But if you're operating in a very turbulent industry like aviation, like take the example, oil and gas. So there are many organizations which operate in certain stable environment, means in some of the organizations, they are operating in a very volatile environment. As I give you the example of aviation. So don't wait till the time of reviewing once in a quarter. It can be more frequently. Okay. Is this clear to you? Any confusion so far? Are you enjoying? Thank you. Thank you very much. Patrick, I would like to take a break for 2 minutes and then I shall be back. Is it okay?
It's okay, Doctor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So let me just take you. So we talked about what does a good strategy look like. Now let me just take you to a brief information about a detailed strategic management process. You see the here, the strategic management process. So these are the various elements in the strategic management process. Okay. And all these elements are interlinked to every other element. As you can see here, mission is linked with the objectives. Objectives are linked with external analysis and internal analysis, which in other words, you say SWOT, okay, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so I will be taking you through each element of the model briefly. Now, please keep in mind, the mission of the firm should inform all other parts of the strategic management process. So this should always be there in the minds of the corporates or the top management or the strategy formulation team, okay? So mission of the firm should inform all parts of the strategic management process, as I said, and then objectives should flow from the mission. External and internal analysis should be done with an appreciation for the firm's mission. Strategic choices should reflect strategic choices also should reflect the mission, okay? And strategic implementation should be done with the mission of the firm in mind. So look at this. Each and every step, it is connected with the mission of the firm. Finally, the competitive advantage a firm possesses should be a reflection of the firm's mission. Okay, so everywhere, as I said, the mission should be connected with each and every step in the strategic management process. Let me just take you. Okay, we'll talk about the mission first. What do you mean by mission? Mission is defining a firm's mission. Is basically the first significant step in the strategic management process. And when you say mission, a firm's mission is basically the reason for existence. Why do you exist? Okay. The mission should inform every other segment of analysis in throughout this process. Okay. So in other words, when you say what is a mission of any organization is its reason for existence. Okay. Now you can go through the websites of any organization like Google, ADNOC, IBM, Louis Vuitton. There is a mission. Okay. So now what is objective? Basically, the objectives are the specific measurable targets that a firm needs to reach in order to carry out its mission. And the mission and specific objectives of a firm should serve as the basis, or you can say background, for the strategic management process. Okay. So once you formulate the mission and objectives of your organization, and there are many times companies revise their existing mission and objectives. Okay. Keeping in mind the environment in which they are operating, the changes which is happening in their external environment. So the next step after formulating mission and objectives is about external and internal analysis. So at this point, the firm needs to do an external analysis, and the firm has to also conduct the internal analysis. When you say external analysis, basically the firm has to do pestle C, which I have coined, by the way, plus C. That means political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal, and competitive. So a firm has to do an external environmental analysis. This is a systematic examination of the environment in which the firm operates. Okay, so you need to know about what is the political scenario in which your business is operating, the stability of the government, economic position of the country in terms of inflation, GDP, GNP, etc. Socio-cultural environment in terms of demographics, as well as national culture. Okay, the technological environment, what kind of technology is prevalent in that country, and then environmental laws. Nowadays, the countries have started looking at the various environmental laws. Like, for example, if you are operating business in Europe, the environmental laws are different than as comparing to the UAE or Arab region, or in the Asian region, and likewise. So you need to understand, you need to do an external analysis. And when you say external analysis will provide the firm an understanding of various opportunities and threats lying within the industry or market. It will help the firm in assessing or forecasting how competition in this environment is evolve. So now, what kind of threats are prevalent in the external environment? To assess these various types of external threats, Michael Porter, HBR, Harvard Business School professor, have given 5 forces strategy. That is, a firm will have the threats from its buyers, suppliers, substitutes, existing rivals, and new entrants. I will be showing you a brief video about Michael Porter's 5 forces, and which will also give you an idea about that, how the firm has to prepare and formulate strategy in in fighting against these threats. Okay, let me just take you to the Patrick.
Hi, Doctor.
Yeah, do I have to skip full screen? And then because the video is here somewhere.
On the next tab, Doctor.
Yeah. How shall I go there?
It's on the top, Doctor. It's beside
Yeah.
the
No, but it's
slides.
hidden with the Zoom options. No worries. I'm going to open it in the another tab.
Sure, Doctor.
Okay, can I show here? No.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, Doctor. We can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Let me just show you this small video. And now looking at the threats, the intensity of the threats will differ from one business to another business. In some businesses, the threat of competitors will be more. In some businesses, the threats from buyers will be more. In some businesses, the threats from suppliers will be more. So now you need to think, if you are the working professionals, you need to think that what kind of business you are in where you are working, and what threats are more dominant in our business. Okay.
We see temperature control software giving everyone a shot at vital vaccines. At Emerson, our software is shepherding medicine.
Most people think of business competition as a tug of war between rivals, with each competing for more sales or market share. But according to Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter, competition is more complex than that. It's not about who's the biggest. It's about who is the most profitable. And profitability is defined by 5 competitive forces. Let's start with your buyers, or customers, who would always be happier to pay less and get more. In the airline industry, price competition is fierce because so many travelers just want the cheapest flight. Then, there are your suppliers, who'd ideally like to be paid more and deliver less. Powerful suppliers will use their clout to raise prices or insist on other more favorable terms. A third source of competition comes from substitute products or services that meet the same basic need you do. These aren't always obvious rivals. The toughest competitors may come from different industries. New entrants can also create tension. For instance, Southwest Airlines challenged the industry by flying just one kind of airplane, reducing costs and allowing it to offer better ticket deals. This pushed other carriers to spend more to retain their customers. Finally, you still have to fight your existing rivals, and intense competition reduces everyone's profitability. The major airlines have been in this position for years, forcing them to defend increasingly narrow profit margins, with fees for exit row upgrades, checked bags, even snacks. These 5 forces define every industry structure and shape your company's future. Once you understand them, you can make better predictions, create more competitive strategies, and increase your profits.
Okay, so let me just take you to the presentation here. So as I told you that these are the 5 forces that will determine your competitive positioning in the market, and you need to...
We see smarter software delivering cleaner power. Emerson's breakthrough technology enables the power industry to integrate renewable energy sources to modernize and improve the electric grid. Emerson, consider it solved.
Times are tough for Rochon & Schmidt, a 100-year-old Swiss maker of luxury timepieces. In the increasingly important but fiercely competitive
From the
Chinese
Google,
market,
Doctor.
sales are flat. Wei Song is a director at RNS, overseeing Greater China from his base in Shanghai.
Yes.
It's up to him and his VP of Marketing, Pearl Zhang, to figure out how to boost sales, especially during the upcoming Chinese New Year ad blitz. They have a big meeting tomorrow with Simon, RNS's strong-willed chief creative officer, who's generally resistant to new ideas. But Song and Pearl know they need to breathe some new life into RNS's
Hi,
marketing.
Doctor. It's on the
Out an event by their
up
chief competitor, Bollinger, whose splashy new campaign stands in stark contrast to RNS's traditionally more restrained approach.
Song, you asked what we could do to boost sales.
When you open the
The
Google,
answer is
Doctor,
something like
it's on the
this.
top.
Yes, Berlinger is great at
Uh,
splashy promotions, but
You can
RNS
minimize that,
doesn't do
Doctor.
diamond encrusted
Then
anything.
just close the browser.
Okay. Now again, I have to share with her screen because I think this is creating problem. This screen on top.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Earlier it was that. Anyways, let me just talk more about it. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Doctor. I can see your screen.
I need to stop sharing here first. So stop sharing. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my apologies for this delay. Let me just give you 1 minute and we are done. Okay, so one minute more and then okay, can you see my screen now?
Not yet, Doctor. Yes, I think it's loading now. Yep. We can see your screen, Doctor.
Okay, so let me just do it quickly because we lost 2-3 minutes, approximately 5 minutes. So let me just finish it faster because I want to discuss some, or we should also have some question and answer. So as I was talking about the mission, objectives, external analysis and internal analysis, you need to think about a systematic examination of firms' resources and capabilities. For if you are a working professional, and this will help you or your firm to understand which of its resources and capabilities are likely to be the sources of competitive advantage. So internal analysis basically will give you or will tell you what kind of resources and capabilities do you have and how you can make your business successful or make profitable better than your competitors by focusing on or leveraging on your existing internal resources and capabilities. The next one is the strategic choice. It is the point in the process where managers choose how to organize and position the resources of the firm. Okay, so now once you decide what is your mission, objectives, external analysis and internal analysis, then you need to think about, okay, shall I focus on business level strategy or shall I focus on corporate level strategy? Under the business level strategy, you need to think, okay, how to position a business in the market, whether shall I focus on cost leadership, what Southwest Airlines company did, or shall I focus on product differentiation, what Michael Eisner in Disney did by increasing the price of the Disney theme park admissions by focusing on we are different, okay, extraordinary entertainment, okay. Now the next one is about the strategy implementation. Now, see, simply choosing a strategy means nothing if that strategy is not implemented properly. So the most important step in strategy implementation process, or you can say in the strategic management process, is the strategic implementation process. It occurs when a firm adopts organizational policies and practices that are consistent with its strategy. Now, what are the organizational policies and practices being particularly important in implementing a strategy? First of all, you need to think about your firm's organizational structure. Second, you need to think about your management controls. And the third thing that you need to think about while or in case of strategy implementation is employee compensation policies. So that is something that you need to look at it. And now, Patrick, do we have time, or shall I just put the link of that YouTube video and the audience can watch later? Because I want at least 10 minutes time for the question and answer as well.
I think we don't have time for the video, Doctor.
It's okay. So I'm going to share the link of the video, and
that is fine.
Yeah, which the audience can watch later on as per their convenience. I can't see the chat, by the way.
Sure, Doctor.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to share one more video link with you. I think Patrick is going to share that later on. While watching that video, this video is about Adidas' success by formulating or rejuvenating the strategy, and which made Adidas a successful footwear brand. So unfortunately, due to the time constraint, I will not be able to play that video. So now, understand this, that I'm sure there are many more elements that I have missed in today's workshop or could have emphasized more. But in conclusion, today's workshop gave you a basic yet comprehensive understanding about strategy in general, the components of good strategy, and the various steps in the strategic management process. If you are working professionals, it will help you to keep your businesses on track and will assist you in realizing your firm's competitive advantage in sustained manner. Furthermore, it will also help you to manage your personal careers. So this was all about today's workshop, and I hope you have enjoyed this workshop. Now, for 10 minutes, we will have a question and answer so that you can discuss some of the strategy-related talks. Let's have a Q&A session. Thank you very much for attending today's workshop. Any questions? Patrick, now you can see the question and answer thing.
I think most of the question was posted in the chat, Doctor. So most of them,
Unfortunately, I can't access the chat right now. Earlier, I was able to see the chat, and now when I click on the chat, I can't, means I'm not able to go to the chat. I don't know why.
no issues, doctor. If there is some questions, I will read it to you
Okay,
in the
just
chat.
I remember there was one question about Lucasfilm. Basically,
Yes.
just to give you an idea, to give you an idea, basically, Lucasfilm is an American television and film production company, and it is a subsidiary of Walt Disney company. And as I told you, that it was acquired by Walt Disney, I think in 2012. And they are famous for making Lego Star Wars video games and many other, like for example, Star Wars video games, etc. This company is famous for. Okay. More related to entertainment and
Hi,
technology.
doctor.
Yeah.
Hi, doctor. This is from Tanzil. Is NGO strategy the same like others?
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Tanzeen, for pointing out this thing. Now understand this, that this strategy formulation, okay, the steps will be the same. For example, the strategic management process will be the same irrespective of whether your company is a public company, private company, or non-profit government organization. Okay. However, when you look at the economic performance of the organization, you need to look at what kind of objective or mission you have in terms of the economic performance of your NGO firm, because many times there are NGO firms which invest in the community as well as invest in various other businesses or operations, but their main objective is to utilize those funds in the community or societal development. Okay, so coming back to the point here is that the strategy of that organization, irrespective of the type of organization, will be the same. However, when you see here, the thing only which will be different will be the mission. So if you are an NGO organization, you need to explicitly mention in your mission that what is the purpose of your existence. Okay, so that will be but the processes or the steps will be the same. Okay. Tanzil, the answer was up to your satisfaction. Okay. Malco, there is a question. Can you say something about the strategic management process in academia? Is it essentially the same as in industry? Could you please specify, are you talking about the education industry, like university strategic management process? Yes, more or less. See, if you take example of education industry or the university or higher education or schools, okay, the strategic management process will be almost the same. However, you need to customize some of the steps. Like take the example, your mission will be different, your objectives will be different, your external analysis components will be different. There will be certain factors which is more pertinent to the commercialized or product specific industries. Okay, so if you so coming back to the point is that whether you are operating in a product based industry, whether you are operating in a service based industry, or any type of industry, customization is essential. Okay, however, the steps of strategic management process will be almost the same. Okay. Okay. Yes, very good point, Izzy. You said we make strategy in looking forward of the opponent's strategy. We should be more focused than our competitors. So not only making strategy in looking forward of the opponent's strategy, as I said, in chess game, you need to keep eyes and ears open related to your moves as well as your opponent's move. Okay, present and future, both. Any other question? Feel free to ask any question, any industry. I will try to answer. Please watch this YouTube video. There are so many good examples in this video, which will help you in understanding about the strategy of many companies, how they have improved, how they have gained success. So, okay, at the end, thank you very much for attending this workshop. And I hope this workshop has given some of the pertinent information related to strategy formulation, creating an interest if you are not a business professional, creating an interest about what is a business strategy, how to formulate it, how to make your businesses and unique, okay, and how to gain competitive advantage. Okay, and this will definitely help you in charting your individual careers as well. So means if you are whether you take the example of individual strategy or corporate strategy, strategy formulation is an art. So thank you very much for attending this. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And feel free to drop me a message or an email anytime. I think Patrick has already forwarded my email ID, but I'm just typing it right now here. So feel free to contact me. So it was a pleasure seeing you all. Well, time flies. Look, I was thinking 1.5 hours, and present the audience is going to means they are not going to like this session because of the time, online session and likewise. But Alhamdulillah. I'm also conducting a session, a workshop on creativity and innovation. So just look at the Affinity workshop schedule and join next time, where I'm going to tell you about the role of creativity and innovation, I think in May. And yes, and where I shall be also telling you about the components of being creative, how a person can be creative, how the organization should nurture the creativity and innovation at the workplace. Thank you once again for joining this session. Patrick, shall I close?
Yes, doctor. Thank you, doctor.
Okay,
We will end the presentation now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, everyone.